All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style. And today we have Miss Kapinga with us. How are you, Kapinga?
I'm well, Ebonie. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time on your weekend to share with us some jewels. And for those of you that stick around to the end, you will have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. So stick around and let's see what Miss Kapinga wants to share with us today. So that we get to know you a little bit better, can you share one motivational quote that really inspires you, something that encourages you and gets you going?
Okay. So one of my favorite motivation quotes is that failure is often the early morning hours of darkness which precedes the dawning of the day of a success.
Repeat that one more time.
Yes, so failure is often the early morning hour of darkness which precedes the dawning of the day of success.
Yes. And I think that sometimes we think of failure as a bad thing, but when you're truly successful in your own mind, you could probably think back on many times that your ideas and your gestures didn't go as planned, but you learned from it and you continued on and you were able to make things work. So I think that seeing failure as something that is helping you to get to the next stepping stone is a positive thing, right?
It is.
We all know that it is not always easy to reach our dreams. And a lot of times we have difficulties that arise just by nature of living in this world where things don't always go right?
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about a time in your life where you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel and maybe you had to overcome some unforeseen challenges and circumstances, but you were able to bring that goal or that dream to fruition?
Yeah, sure. Undergrad for me was a little difficult because my dad died in the middle of it. So it just changed the whole dynamic of how I viewed the whole, like just how I view life because I didn't have any more support. It was like a turmoil almost. So what happened, like I did so horrible the semester that he died, even the semester later. And I didn't even think how I would get through like the undergrad. I was like, okay, this is it for me. I don't have anybody to support me. I'm not even financially stable. So I didn't know how I would get through it. But what I learned from that was just like, I guess we all go through tests and it's just how you're your own life teacher. So you just have to learn or take whatever you have and use it towards reaching your milestones. And that's what the lesson I learned after my father's death. And taking that one semester off helped me to, I guess, I don't know, to just get me back to why I even started it and what were my goals at the end of my undergrad, which was to graduate and get a good job so I can make a stable earning and live a happy life. So yes, that was one of my toughest life story of my 27-year earth.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's like to lose my dad at such a young age. My dad is still living and I'm 40 years old. And I can't imagine. I mean, as you're talking, I'm like, well, what if he died right now? And that would be, so devastating even at my age. So to be going through that at a young age and then to be right there in the middle of developing yourself for what you deem as necessary to get through this world. We all want very similar things. We all want to, whether that's going through college or not, we all want a good job that's going to provide the income to pay our bills and also to be fulfilled and happy in this world. So to lose your support, what you just said a few minutes ago, as your only support at a young age, I'm sure that's very difficult. And I think that sometimes we get into this mindset of that if one person goes, that we don't have any other support. And sometimes that's the case for a short period of time. But there are other ways to seek out support. So can you talk a little bit about times in your life where you had to reach out to other people that were not necessarily even family and friends, but other people that were able to provide you with a level of support and just provide encouragement for those people that feel like, man, I know exactly what I should be doing in this world, but I don't really have anybody to help support that dream.
Yes. So I used what resources that I had available. One of the supports were a lady from my church, and there were few teachers who knew of my situation, and they worked with me as, just celebrate, not necessarily celebrating with me, but like, tapping me on my back, like, hey, you got this, keep going. You already like halfway through your, you already halfway through your, I don't know, degree. So just keep going. So yes, you just have to, there are people out there that will support you just because they know, maybe they've been through your situation, or they just want to be there for you. So you just got to use your resources and be grateful that God sent them your way, because you know how there, I don't know who's the exact quotes, but there are people, like, you meet people at different seasons for a reason.
Right.
Well, yes, just use whoever is available there for you, talk to somebody, and that's the support you also can use.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. There are people in your life at different points in your life that can help you with that season of life. And for some people, they view, people that they don't get along with, or people that they just don't like, as somebody like, why are you in my world? Get out of my life. But even those people can be a teaching lesson. One, of how you don't want to be, and two, they might be pointing something out that maybe you need to pay attention to. So I know for me, I tend to want to be around a certain type of person, but that doesn't mean I don't learn from the people that I don't want to be around. I still learn from those people. I just know that toxic negative energy around me doesn't make me feel good. So I don't want you around me, but I can still learn from you. And I believe that everyone has something of value to offer this world as well.
Yeah.
I think that too many times we may look at something that someone else is doing and think, man, I wish I knew what it was that I'm on this earth to do. And we all have a significant reason to be on this earth, and we all have a level of inspiration inside of us that we could put out there. Sometimes I think that we get so busy that we are not self-aware enough to know what that is. So can you talk a little bit about the busyness of society and how we can utilize self-care in order to realize our dreams? Because we all know that the worse we feel mentally, physically, emotionally, the less we're going to feel like serving others and thriving in our purpose. Maybe talk about some self-care methods that you have used, or some things that you could recommend to someone to use.
Yes, so you always have to take care of yourself first, because you can't pour out what you don't have. I learned that. So yes, you just have to prioritize everything, what's important, but also remember that you come first in everything, because if you're not feeling well, or you're not like happy inside, you can't really pour those things out to the world or to other people. So taking care of yourself can simply mean, like, in the middle, like, during lunch, go out, get some fresh air. You don't have to sit in the office all day, or even after work. Just go out and do some kind of walking and get some fresh air, or even treat yourself every once in a while, every now and there. Like, just prioritize yourself. You come first in everything. So that's one of the self-care I would suggest. I do that often. My go-to is traveling. If I felt like I've just had a long or a bad month or a week or something, I would, like, just take time and go somewhere. Even if it's like, just go somewhere that you can think of that will be like your happy place.
Right.
Well, yeah, take time and take care of yourself.
Yes, and I also think that when you get out to travel, you meet different types of people. And depending on where you travel, you can learn to be more grateful for the circumstances that you're in. I know that for me, sometimes when I travel internationally and I see how other people are living, and then I come back to the United States and I'm like, we're all griping and complaining about this, and this. And these people over here are happy about just having a shoe in their hand,
Yes.
So you become, more sensitive to the things that you would naturally complain about. And I think that gratitude is something that it leaves you with a more fulfilling feeling than a lot of other things, because when you're truly in that state of gratitude, you don't look at all the problems around you. You look at, man, I really have a lot of blessings going on that I'm totally overlooking because maybe I'm comparing myself to this person over here, or to what I think that life should be like, when in all actuality, you're fine right where you are.
Exactly. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the differences in lifestyle with people from your home country? Because you are someone that's fortunate to have lived and have family that is outside of the United States, and a lot of people don't have that luxury. Some people have never even left their own state in the United States. So can you talk a little bit about some perspectives, lifestyle perspectives, that are maybe different from how we view life and perceive different things that occur in this side of the world from your home country?
Yes. So like you mentioned something earlier, the state of gratitude. I'm very grateful that I am where I am today, even though I don't have everything that I want to have, but I'm still grateful because yes, being raised, I lived in Congo before I migrated here for 11 years. And I still remember the life difficulties that people go through because I experienced it.
Repeat that one more time. I heard you, but I want to make sure they heard you because you went out just a little bit.
Yes, I am very grateful that where I am today, because I lived in Congo for 11 years before I migrated here in the States, and I still have that life experience on me, and it wasn't so like smooth or anything. Basically, life in Congo is hard. Here, everything is made easy for us, but in Congo, it's just like a lot of people like are losing hope almost, because it's like they don't know what the future holds. Everything's happening is just getting worse and worse, and that's one of the reasons why people are fighting to leave the country for a better life. Congo right now, it's like nonstop war. The government is just doing what they want to do without caring for their own citizens. So like living in America has taught me, living in Africa taught me a valuable lesson. Like no matter where life takes you, always remember where you come from and be grateful of what you have, because there are people, like you said, like they're died to even have a pair of shoes or even like something to eat for the day. They don't know when their next meal is going to come from. So yes, that life aspect of things just makes me grateful and humble every day.
Yes. And I think sometimes it does take getting out of this country where you're mostly blessed to going somewhere where they really don't have. One of the things that I admire, though, even in those situations, is that what I've noticed is that the community is strong, though. So even though everyone is suffering, your family and friends are there to provide as much support as they can. Whereas here, people think they're supporting you, but really, people are really about their own agenda. Everything is very, I do my thing and you do your thing. If it's significant and chronic enough, I'll step in to help you. But I don't see the sense of cohesion that I see sometimes when I visit other countries, and everyone just naturally steps in to help each other out. I'm not saying you're not going to have those certain family members and friends that they're trying to get what you have in other countries, but that general sense of community is stronger than what I see here in the United States.
You're right. Yes, it is stronger.
Can you talk a little bit before we end about women that feel like they have to do everything themselves? Because that's one of the things that people here in the United States have to deal with. They feel like, it's just me, no one's here to help me, and I'm constantly overwhelmed. And because they feel that way, it makes it more difficult for them to realize their dream, because they're like, I don't have the time to do it. I hear you, Kapinga, talking about self-care, but I'm raising 3 children on my own, and my friends are always busy and I feel like I don't have any support. So can you encourage those ladies or even offer any tools or words of advice for them?
Good one. I So I like to speak on personal experiences, and I don't have any experience in that yet. So I don't know what I would like. I don't know what to say, but the word like I can encourage women who are in that situation. Just take take one day at a time. Like there's only so much in this world, so don't overthink about how it may seem impossible, but learning to take a day at a time, or like learning to take a day at a time will like get you to the point where it needs to get to, and like just let time be, and just just let things flow naturally. Take one day at a time, take it easy. You don't have to think you're like all alone. Just know that there's always going to be somebody there that you randomly, like, how there are like laws of attractions. I believe in laws of attractions. You attract people that you are yourself. So work on yourself internally, and that way people will come in your life, will be able to, I don't know, be the support that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think like you struggle to answer that question, and I threw it out there on purpose because that's most people's first reaction. Like, I don't know, what would I do? I don't know. But it's really just as simple as let things flow and take it a day at a time. It really is, because when we think about experiences that we have gone through, it might have seemed troublesome while we were going through it, but sometimes when you look back at it, you're like, but I was able to get through that. And looking back at it, it really wasn't as big as what it felt like at the time. So just allowing yourself to naturally go through the process, and also be open and receptive to meeting people that can help you. Because as you said, you will attract people into your world that are going to be able to be loving and helpful, but it all stems from how are you putting yourself out into this world. So if you're putting yourself out into this world as, woe is me, the world is against me, and I'm miserable, and I might as well just die today, well, those are the type of people you're going to attract into your world. But as you're going through things, if you can look for those things to be spending time and gratitude with, or looking for those opportunities to show care and love or service to people, even when you don't have a lot. It doesn't take money. Sometimes it just takes a smile. If you're putting that energy out there into the world, you're going to attract more people to help you through that particular circumstance. And until you actually go through the process of doing that, it might seem like a over the top concept. Like, what is Ebonie talking about? But I encourage any of you listening to try it. Just try to put that positive energy out there. Yes. And you will attract those people into your world that will be able to help you, and they'll just come out of nowhere. So I ask that question sometimes, even to people that haven't gone through it, because most people, they fall into that, I don't know, what do I do? But it's just as simple as that. Just put out that energy that you want into the world, and you will attract those people back that are going to be able to help you through that circumstance.
Yes, great points. Definitely.
For all of you listening, if you want to share your story and share your experiences, I welcome that. I strongly encourage us to share our stories, just because of the fact that many people feel like they're all alone. Even when they're not, they might feel like they're all alone. So I encourage any of you listening to take a look at the links in the description box. You can connect with me on a more intimate level at my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group. Is Nutrition the number 4, Busy Women. And we're not just talking about nutrition from a food consumption standpoint. We're talking about nutrition for the mind, body, and soul. So for anyone out there that wants to connect with me and also earn a complimentary personality assessment and gifts assessment, so that you can determine what your gifts are and how you can utilize that to put your core life purpose out into the world to provide more meaning for your life, I encourage you to connect with me, and I'll provide that for you. There is no reason why anybody that connects with me doesn't understand themselves fully, by taking either one of those assessments or spending some time talking to me so that we can get focused in on what lights you up. And a lot of times you'll discover what those things are just from very focused questions that you'll say, man, where has this assessment been all my life? So for any of you listening, if you're interested in that, I'll provide that to you at no charge. So Kapinga, do you have any last words of encouragement that you would like to share with ladies that are listening?
No, I don't.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And for those of you that want to follow her, all of her links will be in the description box as well. You can follow her on LinkedIn and Instagram. And for anyone out there that feels as though this can benefit somebody else that may be in a time of struggling, Kapinga talked about her father's death. She also talked about perspectives on differences between people that live outside of the United States internationally and those that live here in the US. Any encouragement that you believe that they can glean from that, I encourage you to share it with them. Until next time, wherever you are in the world, I appreciate you, and always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.